educated guess I can as a historian and a researcher. And then I'm going to share that. It also means as an interpreter that I never stop researching, ever. It's never a script. It's always something new. I'm always having to read, always having to look at things. So it's a never-ending process. But when I present it, I want it to be something that people will be interested in. They'll want to hear it. They will not fall asleep on me. Okay? I might want to find ways for people to interact with me. I want to find ways that people can really begin to see their own selves or own situations. So that's really important too. So these are the things that I do in the job that I do. I've been a character interpreter since 1998, where I did my first character, Old Bess. I love Old Bess. She's still my most favorite. She was a tavern slave in Williamsburg at the Raleigh Tavern right before the beginning of the Revolutionary War. And she's wonderful because she has all these men that come to her tavern. It's a great place in the tavern where the men meet and they begin to decide that they're going to go for independence in Virginia. And it's right at that tavern this happens. So she gets to serve those men. She represents the women that were in that tavern at the time of the Revolutionary War. And so she gets to serve those men, and she gets to hear them talk about freedom. And she gets to look at them as they're sitting down talking about freedom. And she looks up, and she sees all their personal manservants who are actually slaves, and wonders, why aren't they talking to them about freedom? Because she recognizes that each man who's at that table yelling about freedom owns a slave. And that just doesn't make sense. And so that's what she talks about. So she looks at the Revolutionary War and the beginnings of it through the eyes of a person that is seeing a huge irony and a huge conflict in heart. She's trying to help people understand what she sees. So I love portraying her, but I do 10 different women from history from the 1600s all the way to the 1970s. So I get to do a lot of things. So now I'm supposed to talk to you about how to do historic character presentations. I'm also supposed to, I want to kind of encourage you to do research, but I also want to talk about what you're doing, even if you're not doing performance. And also talk to you a little bit about performing so that when you present, now each one of you, if I'm correct, is going to have to stand up in front of somebody and tell them about something you're doing. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the judge has the right to ask you whatever question that is pertinent to what you're doing, correct?
Yes.
So I don't want you to phase out on me. I don't want you to go, all I got is a poster board, I'm good to go, I don't need to talk to her no more. No! Because you still have to talk to somebody, am I correct?
Yes.
And they're going to ask you questions. I have been a judge for 4 years. I was a judge with National History Day for our region in Virginia. And I've also helped students to do the performance side, but I've actually looked on the other side. I've only judged the performance side, but I certainly have talked to all the other judges that do other things. So I hear what they say behind those closed doors. And one of the things they say over and over again is, I wish they could look me in the eye. I wish they would speak up. And they're not talking about performers. They're talking about the people doing the documentary, people writing the paper, the people that are doing the poster boards. People doing the performances generally have practiced that a little bit more. But those doing other things need to have those things down as well. Okay? So that's what I'm here to talk about. Are we okay?